We partnered with our friends at Ignite Philanthropy to help us, set the stage, so to speak, and figure out, look, is this actually possible? And, at the beginning of it, it was, 50 million, there's a path there, but it's a stretch. But we did it, we actually exceeded it. And again, that's a testament to the staff that we've got and the programs that we're running currently and our incredible board.
I am joined now by Bill Bresser, the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati. Bill, thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
I really enjoy being able to talk about all the work that all the nonprofits in this city do. There's such tremendous effort that's made to, improve lives for the sake of improving lives, helping people out when they need it. And for what you guys do for Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati, you guys have been going since 1939. Let's set the table here. 1939. You have like a dozen clubs, 7,000-ish kids every year or something like that. What kind of an impact do you have off the top of your head?
Yeah. So currently, actually 7 sites across Greater Cincinnati.
Yeah.
A couple in Northern Kentucky, one out in Claremont County,
right.
Cincinnati proper. About 7,000 total youth served, about 2,500 actual members every year in a typical year. It's incredibly impactful.
And we're talking, various activities, free clubs, year-round, after-school stuff, summertime stuff. It's all like providing all sorts of programming for kids. What kind of variety of programming are we talking about?
Yeah, so gosh, it runs the gamut. And you're right, we're open Monday through Friday every night after school. We're open all summer long for 9 weeks. We double our hours in the summer to meet the needs of families.
Yeah, this is like your busy season right now.
Yeah, it's very busy. And like you said, everything we do is completely free. And our program every night when kids come in, it's very structured. It's not like a rec center where it's just drop in and hang out. It's called Graduate, Fit for Life, Ready to Serve.
Yeah, so this is like you sort of developed this, right?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, years ago, back in 2010, we made that change to greater accountability. We were more like a rec center. We did a bunch of sports programs and things like that. And I think people still think that's kind of what we do. And we do some athletics, but it's really youth development. So there's a strong academic component to what we do. When I was a club director 20 plus years ago, I was like, well, half these kids aren't doing well in school. Why are we just playing basketball all night?
Yeah.
We have a greater responsibility to them if they're going to be with us every night after school. So there's a strong academic component. Fit for Life isn't about creating athletes, but making sure everybody gets physically active every night. We serve snack and dinner every night across all of our sites. And then we do anti-bullying, self-esteem building programs, things like that. We do character and leadership development through community service. That's Ready to Serve. And of course, we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, and we're talking, it's a whole range of ages, right? It's little kids up through teenagers.
Yeah, kindergarten through high school graduation.
That's Bill. That's such a tremendous range of personalities to deal with. And you're already talking about kids, and then you got to have staffing for it, and you got to have fundraising for it because it's all free for people. It feels like you're spinning a million different plates.
Yeah. It's a business. Nonprofits. Yeah. I'm sure you've talked to a lot of nonprofit folks. It is a business, and when people think of us, like they should, they think of the kids that we serve, and we have a tremendous staff. Just amazing. They're the best people I've ever met in my life.
How many on staff?
So we've got about 85 to 90. We've grown the last few months on staff. So 4 full-time people at all of each of our individual sites. We maintain 1 to 15 staff to member ratios for quality and safety purposes. Yeah. I'm big on quality. It's got to be a quality program. You got to get something out of it. It can't be just drop in and hang out. But you're right, there's a whole fundraising team. We've got to make that happen for our kids every day. We got to keep it free for our families to break down those barriers. So we got a tremendous fundraising team and a tremendous board. That's the key to everything, is having really well-connected people who are really passionate about kids on your board.
Yeah, and having all of those elements work together. You've got your staff. I assume there's a volunteer element to it also, and then working in concert with the board. That's a machine that has to be pretty well oiled.
We've become very systems oriented the last several years.
Yeah,
putting systems in place to know everybody has their role, everybody knows their piece. And like you said, we've got a lot of volunteers as well. We're staff based, so if a volunteer doesn't show up at any of our sites today, we can still operate. But man, our volunteers are fantastic too. They help supplement everything that we do. So,
and those volunteers probably run the gamut too, between like maybe high school kids that are looking to get extracurricular stuff done for college credit to adults that are volunteering their time.
Yeah, we do. We got great partnerships with, in particular, St. Xavier High School, which has been a pipeline for volunteers for decades for us. And we've actually gotten some board members through that process through St. X. But yeah, UC and Xavier students, they come and volunteer all the way up to folks who are retired and are looking to give back to their community in kind of a second act. So it runs the gamut for sure.
I really like the idea that you're talking about. This isn't just like a drop them off and hang out kind of thing. You've got programming, you've got structures and systems in place, and specifically in those systems, one of the things that you guys have really sort of leaned into and developed recently is this youth workforce development. This is about pivoting a little bit from little kids still doing fun stuff for kids, but now offering something that's more practical for teenagers.
Yeah, we all know teenagers are difficult to engage.
What do you mean?
They've got such a diverse array of interests, and it's tough to maintain. They can sign themselves out. If you're 7 years old, you're coming to the club, you're kind of with us all night, and it's a lot of fun, and it's really cool. But if you're 17, and especially if you've been coming to the club since you were 7,
right,
maybe not quite as cool. We didn't have enough staff to engage our teens just a few years ago. We just went through this large campaign to build this program out because it takes more people to actually do this, and partners, and who manages those partners.
Yeah, what are the elements of this? Yeah. It's specifically in Price Hill, or you've got a couple different ones now.
It's actually everywhere. So, but the home for it, you're right, is in Price Hill. So we built our first ever in Ohio, freestanding youth workforce development center in Price Hill. It's right next to our Larry M. Rhonda Shakely Club. So that's K through 8th grade now, high school across the street. But we built youth workforce development centers at all of our sites, into all of our sites. Couldn't build separate buildings everywhere, obviously. Sure. So we put our stake in the ground there in Price Hill with youth workforce development, but that program's running everywhere now. Yeah, and it's basically, we're doing the Boys and Girls Club stuff, so making sure that they're on track to graduate. We're teaching financial literacy at all of our sites. We're having a lot of fun, making sure that we're incorporating things that they like gaming, music, and getting off-site, things like that. But, convening businesses, universities, trades, the military, every option for life after high school. We like to say, it's not good enough just to take a college tour. I'm interested in what happens after that. It's not good enough just to go visit a trade school or have a demonstration done. What happens next? So we have to have enough people. Think guidance counselors. Our guidance counselors at our schools have huge caseloads. How can we help them? How can we put all these options for life after high school in front of our high school students and then walk them through that process when they choose their path?
And this means actual interaction, right? I mean, you got to have people that are actually interacting, and then contacts with potential employers to come and make presentations to, show off, hand out literature, or
Oh yeah, all of it, all of it. I just had a group from TQL and the Weiler Automotive Group the other day. They got tours. We're renovating the Claremont County Club out there. We're doing youth workforce development there. That'll be open in the fall. I was telling them, look, if you've got a job, you can come and talk to our kids. Because, a place like Weiler or TQL, people think about, well, they sell cars at Weiler. Of course they do, but it's not just salespeople. They've got HR department. They've got finance people. They've got mechanics.
Service technicians,
all kinds of stuff. And our kids just don't know. I didn't. When I was a 14, 15, 16-year-old, I didn't know about all those different careers. It's our job as adults to teach them, to open those doors, to turn on that light for them. They're going to say eventually, I'm interested in doing something like that, and then we'll find that path for them.
And you're talking about working with something like the Weiler Automotive family, TQL. How important is then, this is something that we stress a lot on the show, we talked about it yesterday when Charlie Frank was on from the Reds Community Fund, being able to partner with companies and organizations in this area who are really interested in supporting the work that you guys do.
It's imperative. It is so imperative that we can't do it without them, simply put. There's no way. We can do our program, but there's only so much we can do. We don't have all of that expertise. The community does. all those companies, all those people. Of course, we need the funding to make it go every single year. But we need those people to come in and say, hey, here are the options. Here are the things that we do at our company. And honestly, it makes our kids feel fantastic when they know, like, we've got all these different companies coming in that are interested in them. They're interested in their future, and it keeps them coming back. So it's multifaceted.
Yeah, I mean, how much of this, what you guys do, is just being able to see a kid, maybe light up a little bit because somebody paid attention to them and did something with them specifically versus, tossing a ball into a group and saying, go have fun for a while.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, so we can't be that model. We can't just be like, well, we're going to sit and watch you guys play basketball all night. We'll do the fun stuff,
sure.
But we want to make sure you get something out of this. And, kids gravitate toward that too. When you talk to our high school students, because we ask them all the time, what do you want to see in the program? And of course, they talk about gaming and getting off site and the fun things, but they'll often say things like, man, can you find me a job? Or
right.
I really don't know what I want to do when I graduate, and maybe college isn't my path.
Is that where the workforce development came from? Was that kind of feedback?
That, and I've been there a long time, so some other staff, we knew. When we did surveys with our kids and with our families, and we look at our numbers, our academic numbers, K through 8th grade, over 70% of our kids every year do better in reading and math. We know that through Ames Web assessments. And we know that over 85% of our students increase their social emotional competencies in those age groups.
Yeah.
We saw fall off in the high school years for various reasons. So we need to be better in that space, and we are now. We're at the beginning of this, and it's exciting. It's fun. It is so fun to watch, a kid walk in that door, not really know what they want to do, gravitate towards something, find a job. We found 41 high school students their jobs this summer, this past summer.
And we're only halfway through the summer.
We are, and it's going to grow. I mean, we're not quite open everywhere as far as youth workforce is concerned. We will be this fall. Avondale and, like I said, the Claremont County Club will come online this fall. But that number is going to grow.
Yeah, we got to talk about, you're talking about renovations, and you guys are in the middle of an incredibly impressive renovation plan. All of your sites getting attention in some way, right? And that to the tune of $50 million raised. So now that's ribbon cutting at, which spot is that?
Bangor.
Is that the Bangor?
Yeah, Bangor and Newport, yeah.
Bill, $50 million in a campaign. How in the world, is that something you presented to your board and said, this is what I want to do?
Yeah, it freaked a lot of people out. A youth development agency has never done anything like that before in Cincinnati. And in fact, I found out later that no Boys and Girls Club anywhere in the country had done anything like that.
And this isn't the first time you guys have set the standard for what the national model pays attention to.
That's right. I mean, so our model is based on quality programming and structure, and we are a model in that way, and we've taught a lot of the other organizations, Boys and Girls Clubs, how to do it that way.
Yeah.
But it's what we needed. Now, obviously, what you need and what you can actually pull off are sometimes different things.
Sure.
But we partnered with our friends at Ignite Philanthropy to help us, set the stage, so to speak, and figure out, look, is this actually possible? And at the beginning of it, it was $50 million. There's a path there, but it's a stretch. But we did it. We actually exceeded it. And again, that's a testament to the staff that we've got in the programs that we're running currently and our incredible board.
Yeah, I mean, it's you're providing good programming that gets you good feedback, that helps kids out, and which then in turn feeds things for other businesses to say, hey, I know you got some good results out of this. How can I be a part of it? Yeah. Board members to go to people they know and say, hey, this is what we're doing. We've seen this kind of a response, but we want to build it into more. It feeds itself.
Absolutely. Yeah, one feeds the other. No one wants to give to a program that doesn't work or you're not financially responsible, right? And if it's working and you're financially responsible, people are going to want to give to you.
Yeah.
So you got to have both.
It's really impressive. A $50 million renovation capital campaign for Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati. Congratulations on that. We got to take a break. But the good news is we're coming back. Bill Bresser is the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati. More with him next.
Miss Asa, what are you most excited for this summer?
Going to the zoo.
I'm most excited about going to the pool and stuff because I don't really get to go to the pool that often. And I love swimming.
I'm excited about going swimming and going to the park.
I'm excited for the field trips, and I'm excited for to meet new people.
Play and go to hike to Miss Alyssa.
What are you most excited for, Miss Amanda?
Going swimming with the kids.
And going outside, go to the park, you know, meeting all the new kids and stuff. Just experience the summer.
Welcome back to the Working Lunch. Sorry, I'm tearing up a little bit here, seeing how sweet are those kids, Bill? How you get to see interactions and kids light up like that every day.
Yeah, like I said, I never left because I fell in love with the mission and the people that work here, and all those kids are talented. They're so talented. Not everybody has an opportunity, though, and that's where we come in.
That's really tremendous. Bill Bresser is the CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati. Been doing work since the late 30s. What has it been like for you to be at the helm of this organization? Because your trajectory, you started out as what, a part-time volunteer tutor?
Yeah. So I didn't know what I wanted to do when I graduated college. I graduated from UC. And was working in a restaurant, Christie's, Lenhart's in Clifton.
Okay,
and
sure.
That was the connection. Actually, one of the guys, Brian Lammers, who actually married the owner eventually of Christie's. He was a volunteer at a place called the SB Boys and Girls Club, and I said, "Man, I'd like to do that." And he said, "Yeah, come with me." And I did. And
so just on a whim.
On a whim, it was a complete whim. I came with him on like a random Tuesday. And just kind of found my own way there. I was tutoring, like you said, English and math, 2-3 days a week. I'd stay for a couple hours, and their education director left. I wasn't looking for a job, I was just trying to figure out what it is I wanted to do in the world, and that tutoring was fun. But they offered me a job, and I thought, well, I'll do this for a couple years, maybe look good on a resume, and to figure out what it is I want to do with my life, and that was 23 years ago. and I never left. The goal wasn't to become, the executive director of a nonprofit.
Yeah.
But here I am. Yeah.
I mean, that's such a from mailroom to the boardroom kind of story, and I love how it's such a specific testament to just like these kids who come there and they find engagement and they grow from it. You as a volunteer came there and found engagement and grew from that.
Yeah. Oh, it's enriched my life in ways that it's indescribable.
Yeah.
It really is when you get involved with something like the Boys and Girls Clubs, a cause like that, and our staff would say the same, and so would our board. It was just something I never wanted to leave. It just kind of got into you, and you were like, "Well, this is such a wonderful place. I think I can do some good here. I'd like to be part of this." I mean, you're part of something much bigger that actually really matters. I mean, I've seen it work. I wouldn't have been here this long if it didn't work. I'd go find something else to do. But I don't want to find anything else to do. This is what I want to do. And when the opportunities presented themselves for me to throw my hat in the ring and try to get promoted, I did. And the board took a chance on me 8 years ago to become the CEO, and it's been quite a ride.
Yeah. What have you, in terms of your position now as CEO for the last 8 years, and having an executive leadership role in this? What are some of the things that you noticed and learned in your trajectory up from tutor into your career path within the organization to now running it? What do you bring to the table that you learned over those 13 plus years before?
Oh yeah, there's a lot. I mean, I know what it's like to be on the ground in the clubs every day.
Yeah.
I know what a lot of our kids are going through. Of course, I didn't grow up that way, but when you work in the clubs, you work in direct service for many years, you can relate to the staff. You understand the challenges, not just that the kids have. That's really important, but that we had as an organization trying to meet those needs.
Yeah.
And being promoted to CEO, I'm in a position now to solve that. And that was really interesting to me.
Well, and being in the position of CEO to solve that, and then also things that you have done, and we talked about this before, initiatives that you've got and separations and tiers that you have systems in place for have been adopted by the national model. So you're solving problems for Boys and Girls Clubs proper.
Yeah, we really have. We helped a lot of organizations and trained them on how to implement our model, our structure, how to train. Our continuous quality improvement process that we go through every year to just get a little bit better. We've implemented now EOS, an entrepreneurial operating system, and we're working with a facilitator to roll that out across all of our sites to help all of our management become more, again, systems oriented and focused quarterly rocks that then lead up into year-long goals and long-term goals. Yeah. And that's how we move the ball forward for our kids.
We had the video that played right when we came back from break about the kids talking about what they were looking forward to in terms of summer stuff. This is sort of the busier season, I assume, right? This it now is. Versus wintertime when at least kids are in school. It's all day. It's go go go.
It is, yeah. So during the school year, obviously we're open after school for 5 hours, and we're busy for sure. But in the summertime, it's 8 hours a day, and it is go go go. We're off site a lot of field trips, a lot of fun, a lot of experiential learning opportunities. The summer learning loss phenomena is more pronounced in kids who live under the poverty level. And that's the majority of the kids that we serve, and that's the goal, is to try to bridge that gap between school years. Having
had the longevity that you've had, what was it like seeing kids and trying to do after-school activities and whatnot during COVID? That had to have been a whole other challenge and frustration. That was about a year into my tenure as CEO. Yeah, welcome.
And that was a big challenge. We were only closed for 6 weeks when everything had to close. Yeah. And it was a scary time because we had to cut all the staff just like everybody else did. Like, we weren't open. Like, what do you do? Luckily, we didn't lose anybody. Everybody came back. We were able to tap into some of the government programs, the PPP loan to pay. But we were only closed for 6 weeks. So we opened that summer of COVID.
Thank goodness.
In a limited capacity. And then during the school year, when the schools went virtual, we were open. We doubled our hours. We bought more devices, because what we were running into is you've got a parent with 2 kids and 1 device, and they had to go to work. Like 70% of our kids come from single parent households. It's usually mom. She's got to go to work. Like, what am I supposed to do? Well, we were a virtual school.
Yeah, well, and also still trying to maintain those connections and some kind of interaction and some kind of feeling as though you're making a connection with someone.
Yeah, the social aspect of it was really challenging. It's challenging for a lot of our kids. I mean, they didn't have any social interaction. Luckily, there were places like Boys and Girls Clubs that were still open, but we still had the social distance. There wasn't as many kids as there were. We couldn't take as many. But it was a very challenging time. Well, for the entire world, not just for us, but for the entire world. And even fundraising. I mean, you raise money by doing this. You give tours. Yeah. You go to lunch. You have discuss. You couldn't do any of that.
Just trying to talk to people. Yeah. In terms of being the executive for Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati, you said you've got clubs in Ohio and also some on the Kentucky side of the river. Yep. Are there any weird challenges trying to run this organization and dealing with the ways 2 different states are set up or anything like that?
No, I mean, there's a little bit. I mean, it's almost all on the funding side, where money is earmarked for specific sites. You can only spend it in a specific state. But again, we've got systems in place for all of that. No, it's not really that challenging. I mean, look, Northern Kentucky is like the south side of Cincinnati, right? So
don't tell them.
No, I know. But no, we've got great partnerships over there with all the school districts and a lot of businesses over there. Our Binger Club and our Chase and Cole Fisher Club in Covington, they're packed. Those clubs are filled to the gills with kids every day.
Yeah, do you see any sort of difference in need between the 2 states, or interests in programming on one side or the other? No real compare-contrast there, kids are kids?
No, you're right. Kids are kids. I mean, we could probably open 40 new sites, honestly.
Yeah.
We're just scratching the surface of need. I mean, our clubs are full. We want to keep them that way, but we're always looking to what's the next opportunity.
In terms of fundraising, because I know it's sort of a constant thing, and again, $50 million for this renovation project is nothing short of spectacular. But in terms of fundraising and, obviously partnerships with different companies and organizations in town is huge. But because Boys and Girls Club has been around since the late 30s, is that in some ways a challenge for you because maybe people take it for granted versus something that's newer or flashier?
Yeah, that really hasn't been my experience. It's actually been kind of the opposite. That, hey, this is something that's an institution and it needs to stay. And, the people that give us money, that help us out, they don't have to give us a dime, but they see that it works. They know that it's reputable, that we've been here forever, and they see who's involved and who's on our board, and they get behind it. So it's actually, I think it's helped us. Yeah.
Well, it's reputation, and clearly you have built on that, and you're influencing the way that the national organization is run.
Yep.
If there is somebody who's a business owner, somebody with an organization, somebody with maybe a couple of kids that they're looking to involve in some programming here, and we are in the summertime, what's the best contact for that? Just go to the website?
Yep, that's the easiest way to do it. Go to the website, bgcgc.org. That's a little tricky.
That which would be Boys Girls Club Greater Cincinnati, BGCGC.
Yes.
That's a club in New York and down by the Village, I think, that closed down a few years ago.
Yeah, it was the CBG. BGCGC.org but Boys Girls Clubs Greater Cincinnati. Just go to our website. You can Google Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati. It'll take you there. And you can sign up to volunteer. You can donate through the site. You can see all of our great programs. There's contact information. So that's the best way to get connected.
Tremendous amount of opportunity, tremendous ways to give. Boys and Girls Clubs of Greater Cincinnati making some real difference in people's lives. Bill Bresser's the CEO. Bill, thanks very much for coming on the show.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate being here.